Dear viewers, Namaskar. Welcome to this edition of the News Bulletin. In the headlines today, World Public Relations Day observed at SAIL, Rourkela Steel Plant in association with PRCI Rourkela Chapter. Program on maintenance of valves held at SAIL RSP.
Enterprising endeavor of Shops Mechanical Shop Collective of SAIL RSP helps company accrue huge savings. Health camp organized in the industrial slums by SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant.
Plantation drive held at Hot Strip Mill 2 of SAIL RSP to mark the iconic week celebration. Array of program organized to mark iconic week celebration of Odisha Group of Mines of SAIL RSP. SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant organized health camp at Jolda RS Colony to mark iconic week celebration.
In-house developed 5S oil storage facility inaugurated at Power and Blowing Station of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant. Swachhata campaign organized near Sector 6 G block of SAIL RSP.
New Oxygen PRMS of Steel Melting Shop number 2 inaugurated at SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant. Pre-retirement employee empowerment workshop Roshni held at SAIL RSP.
Mr. V.K. Tripathi, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Railway Board, visits SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant. Iconic week celebrations at SAIL RSP concludes with a grand cultural program.
Employees of Hot Strip Mill Department of SAIL RSP awarded under Utkarsh Award Scheme. "20 promising youngsters selected as cadets for SAIL Hockey Academy."
Now the news in detail. World Public Relations Day was observed by SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant in association with Public Relations Council of India Rourkela Chapter on 16th July. Mr. P.K. Sahu, ED Projects RSP, was the chief guest at the function. Professor Dr. Mrityunjay Chatterjee, Professor and Director, School of Media and Communication, Adamas University, Kolkata, was the keynote speaker of the day. Mr. Dhirendra Mishra, GM in charge Personal Works, and Mrs. Archana Satpathy, DGM PR and COC and Chairperson PRCI Rourkela Chapter were also present on the dais. A large number of PR professionals of RSP, member of PRCI Rourkela Chapter and students from RIMS Rourkela were present on the occasion. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Sahu stated that the foundation stone of truth, trust and transparency, when imbibed and translated into action, becomes a habit resulting in the byproduct of brand building. He explained how each of these terminologies, when applied in individual, family and organizational context, will lead to stronger relationships. The keynote speaker in his talk, laced with interesting anecdotes from his 22 years of experience in mainstream media and 15 years in academia, deliberated on the subtle nuances of reputation management in a transparent world. He delved deep into the ways and means of managing reputational risk on the face of crisis and elaborated on denial strategies, distance strategies, ingratitude strategies and mortification strategies. Through case studies, he also drove home how maintaining a good reputation on the foundation of truth, trust and transparency can help in bad times. Mr. Dhirendra Mishra highlighted the achievements of PRCI Rourkela Chapter and how the three components of the theme would help in becoming a better person and a better professional. Mrs. Archana Satpathy introduced the topic and spoke on the significance of the day that is being observed to mark the birth anniversary of one of the legendary public relations professionals of the world, Mr. Ivy Lee. Mr. B.N. Mishra, State Executive Committee member, PRCI, spoke about reputation management as the principal practice of public relations in any organizations. A brief presentation was made by Mr. Sangeet Patnaik, Joint Secretary, PRCI, Rourkela Chapter, on the theme of the day. In the open house discussions, the participants interacted enthusiastically, raising issues and clarifying doubts. During the function of the chief guest and the keynote speaker were also felicitated. The function started with the lighting of the ceremonial lamp by the dignitaries. The PR anthem was also played on the occasion. Mr. Sashank Patnaik, Assistant Manager PR and Secretary, PRCI Rourkela Chapter, welcomed the gathering and anchored the function. Mr. Shahin Sheikh, Member PRCI Rourkela Chapter, proposed a vote of thanks. A 3-day training program on maintenance of valves was held at HRD Center from 13 to 15 July. In all, 12 employees from RSP attended the program. Specific inputs were given by experts of RSP on classification of valves, basic valve maintenance practices for steam and other medium, including practical tips, dismantling procedures, and hands-on session on dismantling and assembly of valves, online, offline setting of safety valve testing and statutory requirements, root cause analysis of malfunctioning of valves, use of pneumatic and electrical actuators of valve and their maintenance. Concept of TPM and its applicability in valve maintenance was also dealt with during the program. A demonstration session on valves was arranged to familiarize the participants regarding components of valves. Mr. P.K. Raut, AGM CPTI, coordinated the training program.
The shop's mechanical department of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant has been rendering significant service to the major units by successfully repairing, reconditioning and renovating several important equipments which help in maintaining uninterrupted production and accruing huge savings. The successful reconditioning and revival of the 150-ton ladle of steel melting shop 2 by the shop's mechanical shop department is an eloquent example of such an effort. Notably, 150-ton ladle of SMS2 is a critical equipment which transfers molten steel from BOF shop to secondary steel area and subsequently to caster for casting into slabs. The 430mm diameter and 715mm long trunnion was required to be replaced with a new one. Its quick revival was required to meet the production targets of the plant. The mechanical shop department took up the challenge to recondition the teeming ladle. The job was analyzed in detail and a roadmap was prepared. The damaged trunnion was scooped out from the ladle using Skoda machine of mechanical shop. As per the fitment dimension, trunnion was developed from proof machined material supplied by SMS2. The volume of the ladle was too huge and the department had no facility to fix trunnion through heat expansion. Hence, the collective decided to adopt cryo shrinkage process for fixing the trunnion. A liquid nitrogen tank manufactured earlier by the shop's department was used for fitment of trunnion through liquid nitrogen. In order to fit it through cold shrinkage, the pin was fitted vertically by keeping the ladle horizontal. Design department facilitated the process by providing drawing of stools. 2 stools were developed in the structural and fabrication shop using in-house resources. The teeming ladle will be handed over to SMS2 department within the next few days after completion of all the processes. It is noteworthy that a new ladle would have cost the plant ₹60 lakh, while the reconditioning of the ladle through external agency would have cost around ₹10 lakh. The CSR department of RSP, in collaboration with the Spath General Hospital, has been organizing a number of mobile health camp in different locations to ensure regular health checkup of the residents of the city and the peripheral populace. A health camp was organized at Sector 14 slum on 14th July. Around 82 persons from Shantinagar Basti, Shiv Mandir Basti benefited from the camp. Dr. Simran Pradhan MO examined the patients. Ms. Lily Khadia, pathologist, helped in blood testing, and Mr. Sangram Keshri Mahanti, pharmacist, and Mr. Jitendra Naik, attendant, assisted in the free distribution of the medicine as prescribed by the doctor. 16 random blood samples were collected. The camp was coordinated by the CSR team. The mobile medical unit has helped in making healthcare facility accessible to the residents of industrial slums at their doorsteps. Health checkup camps are being organized at different locations both within and outside the township on a regular basis with this mobile unit.
A plantation drive was organized at Hot Strip Mill 2 of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant on 8 July to mark the iconic week celebration. Mr. S.R. Suryavanshi ED Works led the drive by planting a neem sapling. Present on the occasion were Mr. Debabrata Datta CGM HSM, Mr. R.K. Muduli CGM HSM 2, other CGMs and senior officials of the plant. 100 samplings comprising neem, jamun, karanj and alstromia varieties were planted on the occasion. Large number of employees of personal horticulture and HSM took part in the function. It is worth mentioning that in this current year, RSP is planning to plant 1.5 lakh saplings in different locations of the steel plant as well as the steel township to expand and intensify the canopy of green. To reach out to the young students of the mines area during the iconic week observation by the Ministry of Steel, an array of program was organized by the Odisha Group of Mines of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant on 8 July. More than 80 school students took part in the rally organized on the theme of banning of single-use plastic at Barsua Iron Mines. In Ispat High Schools of Tensa and Barsua, 27 students took part in the painting competition held on the theme Development Since Independence, and 9 students competed in the slogan competition based on the theme Citizen Responsibility in Peaceful Growth. A Nukkad Natak or the street play was staged by a group of 14 students at Barsua titled Veer Virangana Ka Yogdan. A large number of people gathered to watch the Nukkad Natak and cheer up the students. Healthcare initiatives marked the iconic week celebration observed at SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant. The CSR Department of RSP, in collaboration with the Ispat General Hospital, organized a mobile health camp at Joldar Resettlement Colony, Latikata Block on 7 July. More than 100 people from nearby areas got their health checked up in the camp. Dr. Satyaprakash Mishra Medicine and Dr. Somali Kongarai Medicine examined the patients. The other medical team members who assisted in the camp were Ms. Lily Khadia, pathologist, Mr. Mihir Prasad Mohanty, pharmacist, and Mr. Kulsen Barla, attendant. 22 random blood samples were collected to assess the health issues of the area. The mobile medical unit has helped in ensuring Jan Bhagidari in Jan Utsav by marking healthcare facilities to the peripheral populace as part of the activities that are being undertaken by RSP to make the iconic week celebration of the Ministry of Steel a meaningful one.
A new 5S implemented oil storage facility was inaugurated at Power and Blowing Station PBS of Captive Power Plant 1 at SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant RSP. The new in-house developed facility was inaugurated by Mr. S.M. Ali, Master Technician, CPP1, in the presence of Mr. B. Sunil Kartha, CGM Power, Mr. S.L. Das, GM in charge, Captive Power Plant 3, and other senior officers on 30th June 2022 at Power and Blowing Station of CPP1. Notably, the PBS is a vital installation catering to the cool blast air requirement of Blast Furnace 5 and is also an electrical power generation station. The installation has many critical facilities, namely gas-fired boilers, pre-treatment and demineralization plant, turbo blowers, steam turbine generators, etc. To meet the lubrication requirements of many rotating equipments in these facilities, different grades of oil and grease are used which are stored in different areas of the unit. To enhance the safety of the people, equipment, facilities, etc. and for easier, faster and more efficient utilization of different grades of oil and grease, an enclosed area in PBS was developed using in-house resources for storage of these items. Following the 5S concept, the total facility of oil storage was developed with earmarked locations for different grades of oil and grease. Each location is identified with a specification tag and also the use for specified equipments. The aesthetically developed facility has a storage capacity of more than 200 oil drums with loading and unloading provisions and has a display of array of safety wall paintings related to oil and other aspects. As a part of monsoon preparation and the iconic week celebration, the Public Health Unit under the Town Engineering Department of SAIL, Rourkela Steel Plant had carried out a Swachhata campaign in front of Saraswati Shishu Mandir Sector 6 near G Block area on 10th July. The members of Swachhata Swabhiman Group and the local community took part in it. Streets and surroundings were cleaned, garbage heaps were disposed, bushes were pruned and cut in order to keep the area clean and minimize the mosquito menace during the monsoon. The program was coordinated by Ms. Deepa Lavangare, Deputy CMO Public Health. The Public Health Department of RSP has been conducting several activities to control and safeguard the outbreak of any epidemic in the area, starting from pest control to cleanliness drive and tree plantation and public awareness on common issues of public health.
A new oxygen PRMS for converter number C and caster number 3 of steel melting shop number 2 was inaugurated by Mr. Atanu Bhomik, Director in Charge at Oxygen Plant of SAIL, Rourkela Steel Plant on 12th July 2022. Mr. P.K. Satpathy, ED P&A, Mr. P.K. Sahu, ED Projects, Mr. Somnath Tripathi, ED Dr. B.K. Hota, ED MNHS and Mr. Naresh Kumar, officiating ED Works and CGM Services, Mrs. Asha S. Kartha, GM in Charge, Oxygen Plant, and several CGM senior officers and employees of the Oxygen Plant and Projects Department, representatives of MECON, consultant of project and consortium comprising of Messrs. Vimal Organics Limited, New Delhi, leader, and Messrs. Chemtech Industrial Valves Limited, Thane, executing agency, were present on the occasion. The new oxygen PRMS pressure reducing and metering station of capacity 84,000 m3 per hour has been installed to fulfill the oxygen demand for modernization projects like Converter C and Caster 3 of SMS2. Besides, the new system will ensure 100% availability of oxygen supply and simultaneous blowing of 3 converters at SMS number 2 with enhanced efficiency. This will enhance the safety system of the plant. The erection, installation and commissioning work of the system was coordinated by the project department. The interlocks, logics and graphics were developed and implemented by instrumentation department along with oxygen plant. A pre-retirement employee empowerment workshop, Roshni, was held at HRD Center of SAIL, Rourkela Steel Plant on 8 July 2022. Dr. P.K. Sahu, GM Personnel, presided over the inaugural session. Notably, 35 employees including executives are superannuating in the month of July 2022. The sessions covered topics such as final settlement dues and financial security planning, procedure for smooth final settlement, mindset for smooth transition to a new phase of life after retirement, ensuring good health, well-being of body and mind, and safe uses of IT to facilitate smooth and stress-free transition from active employed life to post-retirement life. The sessions were taken by executives from different departments, namely Mr. G.S. Das, GM F&A, Mr. V.S. Sahota, DGM SP2, Mr. VP Arya, AGM CNIT, Mr. HK Sahu, Assistant Manager TS, and Dr. S. Kumar, Senior Divisional Medical Officer OHSC, and Mr. DK Dash, Assistant Manager F&A. At the outset, Mr. G.R. Dash welcomed the gathering while Ms. Aniketa Singh, Deputy Manager Personnel, proposed a formal vote of thanks. The workshop was coordinated by the Personal Welfare Department team of RSP.
Mr. V.K. Tripathi, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Railway Board, was on a 2-day visit to Rourkela. Mr. Atanu Bhaumik, DIC RSP, accorded a warm welcome on his arrival at Rourkela House on 9 July. The chairman was accompanied by Ms. Archana Joshi, GM Southeastern Railway, Mr. V.K. Sahu, DRM, and other senior officers of Southeastern Railways. On Sunday morning, the chairman along with GM SE Railways visited the state-of-the-art hot strip mill 2 and the raw material handling plant of RSP. They were accompanied by Mr. Atanu Bhaumik, Mr. A.K. Kundu, ED Mines, Mr. S.R. Suryavangsi, ED Works, Mr. P.K. Satpathy, ED P&A, and Mr. S. Tripathi, ED MM. He was taken around in the units by Mr. Devabrat Datta, CGM HSM, and Mr. R.K. Muduli, CGM HSM2, and Mr. S.S. Rai Chaudhary, CGM RMHP. The chairman was briefed about the production process, product application, loading, dispatch mechanisms, and the importance of railway corridor in the entire process. The expansion plan of RSP and the support required from the railways were also discussed during the visit. The iconic week celebration observed at SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant RSP to commemorate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav under the Ministry of Steel concluded on a grand note at Civic Center on 10 July 2022. Mr. Atanu Bhaumik, DIC RSP, was the chief guest of the function. Mrs. Seema Bhaumik, President, Deepika Mahila Sanghati, Mr. P.K. Satpathy, ED P&A, Mr. S. Tripathi, ED MM, and Mrs. Sushmita Das, Vice President DMS, were the other distinguished guests of the evening. The function was attended by several Chief General Managers, HODs, senior officers and employees of the plant, their family members, students, parents, teachers, and culturally inclined Rourkelites. Addressing the gathering, the DIC paid tributes to the leaders of the nation who sacrificed their lives to make India independent. Mr. Bhaumik highlighted the contributions of SAIL RSP to the growth in infrastructure and economy of the country with its wide range of products and services. Referring to India as one of the fastest developing countries of the world, the DIC urged everyone to rededicate themselves in performing their assigned tasks to make India a superpower in the global landscape. Earlier, Mr. Birendra Kullu, GM in charge PNA, welcomed the gathering and spoke about the array of activities organized by RSP to mark the iconic week celebrations. The program commenced with the lighting of the ceremonial lamp by the dignitaries amidst the chanting of shlokas by Mr. Jyoti Acharya of EMD department. The mesmerizing cultural program that followed started with the breathtaking drama staged by the employees of the plant called Dharti Aba, depicting the life and struggle of Birsa Munda for obtaining freedom from the Britishers. The vibrant dance performances, namely Bharat Ki Beti by Ispat English Medium School, Sector 20, Odissi dance on the theme of Raj Yatra by Delhi Public School, Sambalpuri dance on the song Dal Khai by Deepika English Medium School, Marathi dance by Deepika Ispat Shiksha Sadan, Sector 18, and Bhangra dance by Gyanjyoti Public School, Sector 19, enthralled the audience. The function concluded with the DIC and the President DMS felicitating the artists of the drama, dance, troupes, and the anchors who have coordinated various RSP programs on different occasions. Mr. B.K. Rao, GM PH, SW and Sports proposed a formal vote of thanks. Ms. Sangeeta M. Sindur, Manager Personnel, and Mr. Anil Malik, CRM, were the masters of ceremony.
A 12-member team of employees, including executives of Hot Strip Mill Department of SAIL RSP, were awarded under Utkarsh Award Scheme for their commendable performance. Mr. Debabrata Datta, CGM HSM, handed over the awards to them at a function held recently. Present on the occasion were other senior officers and employees of the department. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Datta commended the team for the enterprising job which has helped in improving safety, production and performance. The team was awarded for the successful implementation of the project elimination of waterlogging of ROT cold water pump collar by relocating the newly made dewatering pump starter panel at zero level with alarming system. The team was led by Mr. Rashmi R. Mohanty, AGM HSM. Other members of the team comprised Mr. Prasanta Kumar Dalai, Manager, Mr. Lalit Mahato, Mr. Pradeep Kumar Sahu, Mr. Devananda Minj, Mr. Upendra Kumar Prushti, Mr. Bulli Kumar Swine, Mr. Devaraja Sarangi, the senior technicians, Mr. Pradeep Kumar Parihari, Mr. Prabhakara Behra, Mr. S.K. Pradhan and Mr. Hare Krishna Sahu, the MOMTs. The program was coordinated by Mr. Sumit Verma, Deputy Manager, HSM. 20 promising youngsters have been selected to join the SAIL Hockey Academy of Rourkela Steel Plant as cadets after qualifying a number of tough trial rounds. The selection trials were held at Biju Patnaik Hockey Stadium from 28th June to 1st July 2022. In all, 283 applications were received from the youngsters in the age group of 14 to 16 years for selection in SHA. 166 candidates were found eligible for the first stage trial round. In this round, the players were practically tested through 22 matches played within themselves and with the cadets of SHA. 90 were screened for the second stage trial round. In this stage, the students had to undergo battery test and the skill test. 50 of them made it to merit list and finally 20 of them managed to successfully complete medical fitness test and were selected to join SHA. The selected cadets will now be under the ambit of SHA. Here they would be provided free boarding facilities, monthly stipend, balanced diet, furnished accommodation, education and gymnasium facility. Free sport kits, free medical treatment at RSP hospital, assistant for education in local school college, insurance coverage for the training period and bus train fare for visiting parents, guardians once a year, some of the other facilities added for the benefit of the cadets. Besides, the cadets will also get an opportunity to play many important national level tournaments that will provide them the much needed exposure. The SAIL Hockey Academy team of RSP has carved a niche for itself not only in the national but also international hockey firmament by producing players of international repute like Virendra Lakra, Olympian, Shilananda Lakra, Jerome Lakra, Sushil Salso, Anand Lakra, Pankaj Rajak, Deepak Kullu, Ajub Ekka, Ranjan Lakra and John Joel Tupno. That's all for today's news. Namaskar.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.